Breaking news just in. A 24-year-old barmaid has just been found dead on an area of wasteland known by the locals as Mary Row, situated across from Lake Road here in Portsmouth. Police say she was killed between the hours of 12:30 and 1 a.m. on the 9th of December. The woman was allegedly returning home from a friend's house but was attacked before she made it home. A man just this moment has been arrested on suspicion of committing the offence. The individual in question is Mr. Michael Shirley, an 18-year-old able seaman in the Royal Navy. Mr. Shirley is currently serving aboard the HMS Apollo, which is currently docked in Portsmouth.
Interview with Michael Shirley started at 0900 hours, 6th of January 1987. Michael Shirley, do you recognise this woman?
No. I've told you, I have never seen this woman in my life. I didn't do it.
Mr. Shirley, we have an eyewitness account that clearly links you with the murder. You were in the same area that Linda Cook was killed, at the same time she was killed. Don't tell me you don't know who she is.
I don't. I swear, I have never seen her before. I left the club at about 12:25 in the morning, so it's impossible for me to have been there.
Tell me what you were doing on the night of the 8th of December and the morning of 9th of December 1986.
I've told you. I went to Joanna's nightclub in Southsea and I met a woman, Sue, and we arranged to go home together. That's what I thought. So we got in a taxi and about 10 minutes in she told the driver to pull over outside a block of flats. And then she got out and she said she had to get a kid from her mother's house or something. So I waited.
And then what happened?
About 10 minutes later, I realised she tricked me. She used me for a lift home. So I paid the driver and I got out to find her.
So you were angry. You came across Linda and then you killed her in your rage.
No, I didn't. I got out to find Sue and then I went back to my ship. I never saw anybody.
You're a liar, Mr. Shirley. You see, you bumped into this Sue a couple of days later, didn't you? And you talked to her about the murder to create an alibi.
I wasn't doing that at all.
You then realised that when she didn't respond to your alibi plan, you needed to make sure that the police didn't track her down, so you're calling her Sue. The woman you met that night was Dina Fogg, not Sue. You're a liar.
She told me her name was Sue. I'm not lying. I didn't kill her. You've got to believe me.
Looks like I'll be seeing you in court, Mr. Shirley.
No, please. You're not listening to me. I didn't kill her.
Good afternoon. I'm currently stood outside the court where Michael Shirley awaits his verdict. The court case has lasted 10 days. It began on the 18th of January and today, the 28th, the verdict will be delivered. Mr. Shirley has been linked with the rape and murder of a 24-year-old barmaid whose name, Linda Cook, was only released once the court case had begun.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today you have heard the gruesome facts behind the murder of 24-year-old Linda Cook. You must now use the evidence presented to reach a verdict regarding Michael Shirley's guilt or innocence, involvement in the murder. You have been told that Mr. Shirley owns a size 44 athletic right shoe with the word Flash written on the heel area, identical to that of the shoe imprinted on Miss Cook's abdomen. You have also been told that Miss Shirley's blood type matched that of the killer. You may also wish to note that Mr. Shirley is currently covered in scratch marks which appear to have been sustained around the time of the murder, and you have also been told by eyewitness Dina Fogg, who spent the late hours of the 8th of December in Mr. Shirley's company, that after leaving the nightclub, Mr. Shirley appears to have a missing half hour before he boarded his ship. Miss Cook had been brutally beaten and strangled to death. Her final moments were spent in agonising pain and fear for her life. The helpless woman suffered grievous bodily harm and was left with a fractured spine, fractured jaw, crushed larynx, and severe bruising to her abdomen. She was also found to have several injuries that were linked to her rape. You will now leave this courtroom and gather a verdict of guilty or not guilty.
I've just been told that the verdict has now been delivered and Mr. Shirley has been found guilty. Judge Justice Hutchison has sentenced the 18-year-old to life imprisonment. It is expected that he will be incarcerated in Aylesbury Prison, though this has yet to be confirmed.
So, Mr. Shirley, on the morning of the 9th of December, Linda Cook was brutally murdered and raped. You were charged on the basis of circumstantial evidence, and since then you have served 16 years of a life sentence in several maximum security prisons. The original evidence has been re-examined. The first link between you and the murder was your size 44 right athletic shoe that matched the imprint left on Miss Cook's abdomen. I would estimate that around 250 people owned those exact shoes who were living in Portsmouth at the time of the murder. Furthermore, you were identified as sharing the same blood type as the killer. Upon re-evaluation and further DNA testing, the lab found that only one strand of your DNA matched the murderer's, and it is also worthy of note that 23.3% of the population at the time had the same blood type. No evidence was found on your clothing that linked you with the crime scene or the crime itself. The jury were also advised to consider the scratch marks present on your body. They were told that these injuries dated back to the time of the murder. However, the new information we have gathered overpowers all evidence that was used against you. On the night of the murder, you were with Miss Dina Fogg. When questioned about her, you were accused of creating a fake name to prevent police contacting her after you attempted to employ her as your alibi for the night. When questioned again, Miss Fogg admitted that she had lied to you about her name, and she also clarified that you had never made any attempt to create an alibi. Upon review, therefore, it would appear that the evidence used against you was circumstantial. I have no choice but to exonerate you in this case and have you released immediately from custody. On behalf of the criminal justice system, I would like to apologise for the injustice that you have received. You may claim for compensation to the tune of an estimated £4 million. Michael Shirley, I hereby overturn the verdict and stress your innocence. You are free to go.
And what does your life look like now you're free? What are you hoping to do?
My life doesn't look too good, actually. I feel as though I've never had my 20s. I suppose you can't miss what you haven't had, but I certainly feel like I've missed the prime of my life. I think the worst part is that, thanks to my time in prison and the publicity of my arrest, I'll always be with people who doubt me or wonder if I did it. In the short term, I just want to spend time with my family. I need that at the moment.
And what about the long term?
Who knows? Maybe I'll get a job, if I'm lucky. I doubt I'll ever be able to join the Navy again. Not with a prison sentence next to my name. I guess time will tell. But after being in prison for 16 years, I doubt I'll ever fully readjust to being free. I think I'll always be back in that cell whenever I close my eyes.